My name is Tyler. Welcome back to the channel. So something you guys should know is that AMC could go crazy tomorrow if we break out past $50. This comes down to the gamma squeeze. If we break out past $50 tomorrow, even if we don't, we are likely to see a major gamma squeeze coming by the next options expiration date, which is September 17th. So we are going to be breaking down exactly what is going on with the option chain, but because we are seeing a lot of this open interest, a lot of calls that are just out of the money. So this is going to create a lot of buying activity, something you guys should be well aware of. And as you do know, hopefully you know, we need a gamma squeeze and a short squeeze to get to these ultra high prices. I am not a genie though. I don't know what is exactly going to happen. All we can do is go off of the factual information that we do know and then come to your own conclusions. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner or your dad, so always do your own due diligence, come to your own conclusions, take the insight and the factual information from these videos and come to your own conclusions. That is very important. But we already do have the short interest that is extremely high and prone to a short squeeze in and of itself at about 18.5%. Now, theoretically, all we need is the gamma squeeze to make AMC go crazy. So let's get into this whole situation, go over exactly what a gamma squeeze is and why I personally think AMC is on the verge of going through a massive gamma squeeze. So drop that like on the video, consider subscribing to the channel if you get any valuable information out of this, or if you like my insight into this situation. Consider hitting that notification bell as well so you'll be notified when these videos are uploaded. And with that, let's get straight into it. So when I first learned about a gamma squeeze and what that is, obviously, typically a gamma squeeze does not happen in the same way that it has happened with AMC, going from about $15 to $80. So that is not necessarily a typical gamma squeeze whatsoever, but we are looking at the potential to see another massive gamma squeeze. So exactly what is a gamma squeeze? What is the best way to think about what is actually going on when you hear the word gamma squeeze, or when a gamma squeeze is going on? So you guys already know what open interest is. Those are the number of contracts that are held in people's brokerage accounts. Now, to imagine what is going on, the market makers are essentially the casino. What's the one thing you know about the casino? The casino, in the end, never loses. If you are buying a $50 call, let's just say that expires by tomorrow, this Friday, September 10th, if you have a $50 call, that gives you the right to buy 100 shares of AMC at $50 per share. What is happening is the market makers, when you're buying this call, they are the ones that are selling you this call. So they have to sell you 100 shares at $50. If AMC goes to $55, they would be losing a lot of money. So what they do to ensure they don't lose a lot of money and that they actually make money on this trade is that if they know AMC is going to close at $55, obviously the hedge funds institutions have a pretty good idea of what AMC is going to do before we know what it's going to do. So let's say they bought the shares at $49.50. They bought 100 shares at $49.50. And then you come in, you exercise your contract, you buy those shares at $50 per share. So they would make $50 off of your options contract. You would make money as well because your option is now deep into the money, or your shares are in the money. So that is what is going on. Essentially, a gamma squeeze is when the market makers, they will buy the shares as fast as possible, especially if you are very close to expiration, buy these shares to sell them to you at a slightly higher price. This causes a lot of buying to go into the open markets, making the share price go up, sometimes very fast, as we have seen with AMC in the past. So that is, in short, the best way to understand a gamma squeeze. The market makers buying the shares before these options actually go into the money to sell them to you at a higher price, but it is buying power going in to the open markets. What you guys need to know is a term called delta hedging. And delta hedging is the most basic type of delta hedging. It involves an investor who buys or sells options and then offsets the delta risk by buying or selling an equivalent amount of stock or ETF shares. Investors may want to offset the risk of move in the option or the underlying stock by using delta hedging strategies. That is essentially what we just said, because especially if you are selling a call, that means you have unlimited risk. But on average, about 80% or more of options expire worthless. That is why the market makers willingly and openly do this right here. As we see week after week, hundreds of thousands of options expire worthless. The market makers more than likely keep about 90% of that money without having to hedge for any of these options. So that is why they do this, but that is also why they delta hedge, to essentially mitigate their risk and to make sure they make money on these options. So that is what you guys need to know. When you hear delta hedging, that is a fancy way of saying the market makers going into the open market and buying the shares to sell them to you at a slightly higher price. So that is the situation, but let's talk about what our current situation is with AMC stock. And for tomorrow, the reason I think that we could potentially see a breakout starting tomorrow, even going over $50, is because we have almost 8,000 for open interest at the $49 strike, which is nothing too crazy, but we're only about 50 cents away from $49. But really at the $50 strike, you're seeing 24,608 for open interest. And the best way to think about this is 24,608 for open interest. If AMC goes over $50, this would control 2.46 million shares that would have to be bought on the open market. That is a substantial amount relative to the volume that we see. That's about 2% of the volume that we see on a normal day. So that can have a huge impact to the stock. As we do know, we have seen last Wednesday, 2% of the overall float was sold short into the market. That caused AMC to go down about 8% in value. So that is a situation we are looking at. For tomorrow, we obviously see about 10,000 in open interest for the $52 strike. For the $51 strike, you're seeing 7,000 for open interest. So still very high for open interest, but really at the $50 strike, you're going to see a lot of buying going in from the market makers. But what is really on my radar is the September 17th options expiration date. This is a quad witching expiration date, so you're going to see a lot of volatility potentially in AMC stock because of that. That is where 4 different asset classes all expire on the same day. It only happens 4 days out of the entire year. But you see at the $49 strike, 4,000 for open interest. That is even less than what we were seeing for Friday, or for tomorrow, I should say. But at the $50 strike, you're seeing about 25,000 for open interest. And I do expect this open interest to go up a lot tomorrow because a lot of people are going to take their winning options, their profits from this, from the September 10th options expiration week and roll it over into the next week. That is what you see week after week. So you're likely to see these numbers coming on Monday being much higher, probably thousands more for open interest higher on each one of these strikes. But like I said, at the $50 strike, you're currently seeing about 25,000 for open interest, controls 2.5 million shares. At the $55 strike, you're seeing 15,390 for open interest, controlling 1.53 million shares. And at the $60 strike, you're seeing 34,000 for open interest. That controls 3.4 million shares at the 65. That is also very high at 13,000 for open interest. At the $70 strike, you're seeing 16,373 for open interest. So all in all, you are looking at millions and millions of shares that are going to have to be bought by the market makers if we do even cross over $50, which is right around the corner. And that is also our resistance level. So I do think the odds are in our favor to see this breakout over $50. And this is only the market makers actually having to buy the shares for the options. If we see some shorts coming in, potentially covering on their positions, you're going to see a lot of these options run deep into the money. And that is what I mean by you're going to have to see a gamma squeeze and a short squeeze to see these super high price points, hundreds, thousands of dollars, or $1 million. You're going to have to see both of these come into effect. And this is our best chance of actually seeing a gamma squeeze until about, it's looking like January 21st, 2022. So that is what you guys need to know, where we currently sit with the gamma squeeze of AMC stock. Just looking at the chart, we are looking at a breakout coming anytime now into the near term future. I don't even think this is a question. If we pass $50, we're going to see a lot of people buying AMC stock, a lot of delta hedging. You're going to potentially see some shorts covering. So I wanted to give you guys this information before we do see this gamma squeeze. So drop that like on the video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you learned anything out of this video. Hit that notification bell, all of that good stuff. Check out the 4 links linked down below in the description if you want to be notified every time a trade is bought or sold in real time with stock, options, and crypto, we invest for the long term, but we also make a lot of day trades, swing trades, and longer term options investments, as well as crypto mixed in here and there. So definitely check that out. There's a links down below for free stock if you guys want to help support the channel. I do greatly appreciate that. Love every single one of you guys. Thank you for everything you do. Participating down in the comment section, I cannot explain to you guys how much it does mean to me. Let me know down below in the comment section as well. What do you think? Do you think AMC is going to go through a gamma squeeze? Let me know your guys' thought on this situation. So that is all I do have for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.